Thank you, Daniel. For those who don't know me, Scott Brennan's my name. I'm a senior sergeant at Springvale Police Station. Springvale is a place very close to my heart. I worked here, started first time back in 1987, and I've seen a lot of changes in Springvale since then. When I left here, I went north to Mildura for 20 odd years, and when I came back, I couldn't believe the difference and the changes in Springvale. And particularly listening today to the council, we can see in the next 5 years the change is going to be phenomenal as well. For Springvale, as everyone's starting together now, is actually very closely aligned with Dandenong. With the police, we have what we call police service areas, or an area where we cover off together, and Springvale and Dandenong are those two stations that work together to cover this one area. So when we look at Dandenong as a council and Springvale, and then you look at the police as well, we work together, we've got the same boundaries, we all work together, so that's why we can work with Sergeant, work with the council, work with the police, work with everyone else, and keep together with our partnerships to keep things running along. In regards to Dandenong and Springvale, it's the Greater Dandenong Police Service Area. It is one of the busiest areas in the state. Casey's also one of the very busiest areas, but Dandenong is one of the very busiest areas. It's also one of the greatest multicultural areas in the state, one of the locations, which I think is actually one of its pluses. There's so many ideas, so many innovation from other cultures coming through, greater capacity for moving forward and changing things and doing things the best way we can. And that's where it comes working together with everybody. Springvale has a lot of, Springvale and Dandenong, they have a lot of challenges, and they come from being one of the busiest areas in the state. Through the major challenges that we have at the moment within this area, family violence is number one. When you look at the area we cover between Springvale and Pakenham, last year alone there was about 8,500 calls to police for assistance for family violence alone. And when you look at this 365 days a year, that's a lot of calls every single day for family violence between here and Pakenham. So that's one of our biggest challenges, is working through and how we can actually help people who need assistance in regards to family violence. Theft of and theft from motor cars is another one of our biggest challenges, particularly number plates. We're finding we're getting a lot of number plates. It's one of our biggest items getting stolen from cars. We're still working forward as to why that's occurring and how they're being used. And that comes into where we need to have some partnerships with the traders and the shopkeepers and that in regards to talking with your customers the best way to park their cars and keep their cars safe, so they minimise the theft from their cars. And lastly but not least is road trauma, another big ticket item for us, and particularly with Springvale. We've got the shopping precinct, which is actually split right down the middle of Springvale Road, and that was brought up today in regards to needing to provide a safer way for people to get from one side of Springvale Road to the other side for the shop. So that's something we always want to work together to get down as well. In regards to workload, there was a question at the earlier forum in regards to police response times. We know that we're very busy, and we've actually started up a little bit of a new business model with what we call a frontline tactical unit. Most of our divisional bands are busy responding to calls for assistance, and we know that limits our opportunities to do specific tasking patrols. So this is where with this frontline tactical unit we actually have spare members, and their particular role is to go on patrol and look at areas where there are specific issues that are occurring or emerging. And that's where we need to ask yourselves for assistance. If there's an issue in your area, let us know about it. If we know about that, we're able to then task the frontline tactical unit to go to that particular area, patrol that area, take what actions is necessary, and then hopefully we'll reduce or stop that issue for you in a very, very, very short space of time. So in regards to, yes, we do have a high workload, we've actually developed a new business model so we can address specific issues as they emerge.